wonder if we're live. I wonder if we are live. I'm not sure. I think we are. It looks like we are. Yay! Hello, Inga. Test 1 2 3. Okay, yes, we are live. Welcome to Visby, which is a small town on a small island off the coast of Sweden. And quite a stark contrast from Tokyo, where I used to do my walks. It's been a while. I haven't done a live stream in I think, well, I've done one in the last month, yeah, one that I wasn't happy with and I removed it, I unpublished it, but hopefully this one won't be as bad. So I'm here for work. The Swedish company I work for, we are having some things to cover here because right now there's actually a very big event called Almedalsveckan, which happens every year except when there's a pandemic, but otherwise it's been going on since the 70s, and it's one of the biggest and most important political event, or it started as a political event back in the 70s, I believe, but now it has grown into an event where basically everybody wants to be. So a lot of people flock to this otherwise pretty small town. A lot of people come here for this week. Now it's early morning, so it's relatively quiet, but later in the day this street is about as crowded as Takeshitadori in Harajuku. It gets really packed in the afternoons. But yeah, it's a very beautiful city, and it's actually quite a tourist destination during the summer months. And this wall is quite famous. It actually dates back to the 12th century, called Visby. This used to be a very important town back in that era, and this wall was built back then to protect the people living here. And most of the city center, as you will see, is kind of very nicely preserved. So it's a very charming old Scandinavian town. Visby, yes. It's actually my first time here, even though I'm a Swede. I've never been on this island before, which is kind of strange according to a lot of my Swedish friends. Especially people from Stockholm tend to go here a lot because you can take the ferry from Stockholm. It takes about 3 hours, 3.5 maybe. That's how I got here, and that's also how I will leave this island later today when I'm going back home to my mom's place. But I have about half an hour until my first assignment for the day starts, so I thought, why not give you a little tour of this town and go on a little morning exploration together, because I've been missing you. I've been missing my viewers. I haven't had the time to hang out with you for so long, so I thought, okay, maybe we can spend a little session this morning together experiencing this beautiful old Scandinavian town. And of course, if anyone in the chat has been here, if you know the city, if there's anything you want to see, this is kind of funny. It's a Japanese restaurant called Kasai. A Japanese restaurant, but they also sell like Chinese foods. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't think any native Japanese people were involved in designing or branding this. Jenny, good morning. Let's see, I think we can walk down here. Oh, Sweden, yes. And I am noticing that I actually had this problem on my last live stream too. There is something weird going on with my gimbal. It's not as stable as it used to be. I'm not sure if it's just a setting that I need to change somewhere, or if the gimbal is actually a bit broken maybe. I did have an episode a couple of weeks ago when I was trying to unfold the gimbal and I folded it in the wrong way, and I might have like cracked something. Anyway, hopefully it's not too disturbing. Maybe actually let's do the ultra wide instead. That should make the shaking a little bit less annoying. And it's also kind of necessary in order to capture all these very narrow streets. How long will you be in Sweden? Asks Kim. I will be here until the first week of September. So I will be here for a little over 2 months. It's been 2 weeks since I left Japan. And in another 2 weeks, my family will come join me. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Morning coffee. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Yes, I had 1 cup already, but I'll have another one soon. Actually, because of this event, we will walk down to the event area later. It's closer to the beach. I will end the stream there. But they're actually handing out free coffee basically everywhere in this town this week. But thanks anyway for the super chat, Jenny. Highly appreciate it. Slow is horrible. What do you mean, George? Looks quite beautiful. Yeah, this town is really, really beautiful. And actually I saw some housing prices here and it's like insanely expensive if you want to buy a house like this. It's crazy expensive because there aren't too many houses like this. And the demand is pretty high. Like this is, like I said, this is a place where a lot of Swedes come to spend a couple of weeks during the summer. I'm not sure how exciting it would be to live here permanently, especially during the winter months, but it's definitely very nice in the summer. Yeah, like this is apparently a small apartment hotel. Am I moving again? No, I'm not moving. I will just spend the summer in Sweden to escape the awful heat in Tokyo. As I mentioned countless times before, the summers in Tokyo are horrible. It's way too hot and humid. And also I want my daughter to feel that she also belongs in Sweden. So yeah, we will spend the summer here and go back to Japan once the temperature starts to drop a little bit again. Slow chat, I see. Can't see when you type next to it. Huh, that's weird. I don't think I enabled that intentionally. Strange. So yeah, originally I was kind of hoping to do a stream in the evening here because it is kind of interesting to see these streets as crowded as the busiest streets in Tokyo. But I've been working so much while I've been here, so in the evenings I've been really, really exhausted. I haven't really had the energy to do an evening stream. And this is a very, very old ruin. Interesting. Let's see, where am I? I'm still not terribly familiar with this town, but I think we should be heading down this way. No, maybe let's go up this way. And chance you're going to be in Malmö this summer. Yeah, I am hoping to go to Malmö in the first week of August. We haven't really confirmed the trip yet, but hopefully we will be there in August for about a week. Yeah, I think it's a church ruin. Very big church ruin. As you can see, there's also a lot of nice little restaurants around here. And everything is super expensive, by the way. Like having dinner at one of these restaurants would be like at least the equivalent of 5,000 yen. If you want something to eat and also something to drink. So quite a big difference from what I'm used to in Japan. It was the same when I slow mode is on, 1 minute per message per minute. Okay, sorry about that. I think I usually leave it on though. Long time no see. Yes. Hello Luke. Hello, how are you? Are you in Japan yet? When are you going again? I'm starting to sound a bit more Swedish. Yeah, I probably get affected from spending the time here. But yeah, this event is quite interesting, and it kind of puts the finger on one of the things that I really appreciate with Sweden. So, well, I will tell you about that when we get closer to the actual venue. Gothenburg. Don't think I will go to Gothenburg. No, sorry, you will. That's not on the itinerary right now, at least. Photography atelier. Huh. I should check that out. Speaking of photography, so I'm obviously here for work, which means a lot of photography and videography as well. So I am constantly carrying my big camera while I'm here. How's your endurance? You seem to be huffing and puffing already. Yeah, my endurance is not good. I haven't really walked as much as I used to, and also since I left Japan, my diet has deteriorated a lot. And yeah, I guess I really should start doing some sort of regular exercise. So we are going down there, but I actually found a place over here that has a very nice view. So let's see if we can sneak in there and take a look at the view. I am carrying a heavy DSLR, yeah, and a bunch of lenses as well. And also it's morning, I just woke up, so I'm not really 100% awake yet. But instead of having a slow and relaxing breakfast, I ate really quickly so that I could give you a stream. Let's see. Hopefully no one will get mad if we sneak in here. So this is a very nice bar, restaurant. What time is it in Sweden? It is morning, 8:17. Jari, wake up. Yeah, Jari's not here. This is a nice little street as well. Weather check, yes, of course. It's actually, as you can see, it's a little bit hazy. There was actually some reports that the forest fires, the smoke from the forest fires in Canada actually reached Europe yesterday and are expected to even come to us here in Sweden, but pretty high up in the air, so we probably won't get too much of an effect on the air quality, but maybe some of the haze we're seeing is actually from the Canadian forest fires. I'm not sure, or maybe it's just a regular cloudy day. Yeah, when I zoom in I can definitely see that my gimbal is not removing the shade it used to. Huh. Let's see, okay, I have another 20 minutes before my work starts, so let's start heading down to the harbor area. It's 30 degrees in June. Yeah, my wife tells me that every day, that it's basically unbearable outside already. So I'm really glad that they're coming here with me so that my daughter can play outdoors again. I can show the sunrise if possible. Sunrise was like 4 hours ago, so I'm afraid I won't be able to show you that. And sunset is really late too. I think sunset here now is like 9:50 in the evening. The days are really long in Sweden in the summer. Let's check. Yeah. You see sunrise very early, sunset very late. Spain last week, yeah, I was in Italy last week and it was also like 30 degrees, but I don't love those kind of temperatures, although it's kind of bearable as long as it's not too humid like it gets in Tokyo. 30 degrees in Italy was nowhere nearly as bad as it is when it's those kind of temperatures in Tokyo. Google has a little venue somewhere around here, but I think I took the wrong route and no, maybe it's down here. Let's see. I might be able to find it. Yeah, to my European viewers, I guess this streaming in this kind of time zone is way more convenient, of course. But on the contrary, probably not that good for my American viewers. Did I get a Mediterranean tan? I think I did, yeah. I think I did. To Visby. It's nice, it's nice. It's my first time here and I really like this town. It's beautiful. I would love to come here when it's a little bit more quiet. It's a bit too busy now during Almedalsveckan, but I would love to come here like with my family when it's a little bit more quiet. That would be wonderful. Is it too early for a beer? It is too early for a beer. I'm working today, so I don't think it would be appropriate for me to drink while I'm on duty. But I did have some champagne last night actually. So every evening there's a bunch of parties everywhere, and usually those are all like PR events. So usually it's free and all the drinks are free as well. So a lot of people get really wasted. I only had a glass of champagne and one beer. Oh, here's the Google venue. So I didn't take the wrong street. So yeah, many companies, many tech companies are here as well, including Google. And if I wasn't streaming, I would go in there and grab a cup of coffee. Actually, here at the Google venue, the coffee is served in edible coffee cups because they want to show how sustainable they are. So you drink the coffee and then you eat the cup. Not terribly tasty, but more tasty than a paper cup, I guess. Now we are approaching the main venue of Almedalen. So it basically started with the prime minister back in the 70s. He was spending his summers here, and one day he was bored, so he just got on a little trailer down here at this little park and decided to hold a little speech, like very unplanned and impromptu. And then that became a tradition. He started doing that every summer, and then eventually more and more political parties came to join him, and it has grown into like one of the biggest political events of the year in Sweden, where a lot of parties present their new policies, and basically every political leader in the country holds a speech here on this stage down here. So yesterday it was Magdalena Andersson, the past Prime Minister of Sweden, and the day before that I watched Ulf Kristersson, who is the current leader of Sweden. And you see, it's so small. It's really like this. There's like you can easily, you know, you sit a few meters or stand a few meters away from the political elite, and it's a very open event, and a lot of these people are really just roaming these streets freely, you know, visiting shops, restaurants, hanging out. Like, it really puts the finger on the kind of democratic spirit in Sweden that we all value very highly. Like, I don't think in the US or in Japan, for example, you would never be able to be this close to like a political leader. Like, the security would be all over the place. And of course there are a bunch of police, security staff, but it's still like very open, and you can really feel that you can get close to the politicians if you really want. It's probably not impossible to even exchange a few words with them, and that's really something that I appreciate. Oh, is this? Yeah. Är det Babush? Huh. Yeah, that's one of the party leaders talking to a camera down there. And you know, it's very open and free. So those guys were looking at me a bit suspiciously. They were probably like thinking, who is this guy? Maybe they were her security, but yeah, not a ton of people. So she's like one of the top, how many parties are there in the Swedish government? Like eight, nine? And she's one of the leaders for one of those parties. Yeah, last year there was actually a very serious incident here. There was this woman got killed. She was not really a politician. She was like in charge of the policy for psychiatric health in Sweden. I was expecting that would make this event, you know, that security would be tightened significantly, but no, not really. I mean, I haven't been here before, but according to people I've talked to, it's about the same as last year. I guess a lot of people don't want to kind of ruin this feeling of closeness between the people and the politicians, even though something as serious as that happened. They were looking at you like it's a gaijin. Yeah, I guess so. I really feel like a gaijin here too. Here's Tech Arenan, where a lot of like Swedish startups are showing off. They actually have this annual kind of competition where I was kind of covering this event yesterday, and about 500 small startups apply to be a part of this, and 30 of them get selected to have a small booth here, and then one of them gets like crowned as like startup of the year. last night. That was kind of interesting. And yeah, down here is the beach, where I think will be an appropriate spot for me to wave goodbye to you. So yeah, 1 minute that direction. Some of the most powerful and influential people in Sweden are gathering and holding speeches, and down here people are just going and enjoying life. I haven't myself yet, but considering that I felt that even the Mediterranean in Italy felt quite cold to me, maybe the water here would be really, really cold. I have a few more minutes, so maybe we can go down and have a look at the harbor down here as well. My work starts in 15 minutes, so let's stream a little bit longer. Have you accidentally spoken Japanese yet instead of Italian and Swedish? Yeah, this morning. So actually, at my company, there's a woman from Germany joining us to this event. And whenever I try to speak German, which I used to be quite fluent in, like 20 years ago, whenever I try to speak German these days, the only thing that pops up in my head are Japanese words. So, and also same when I was in Italy last week. Whenever I tried to speak Italian, the handful of words that I know, I kept, it was like Japanese words kept coming out of my mouth. So colleagues are there during this week as well, debating over the housing situation in Sweden. Yeah, the housing situation in Sweden, or at least in the big cities of Sweden, is pretty miserable. One of many reasons that I can't really move here, because it's just so hopeless. There's a bunch of food trucks. Maybe I should grab something for lunch here. Glad you're live again. It's been too long. Thank you, Ningpots. Yes, it's been very long. As I mentioned, I don't know if you watched that live stream I did a couple of weeks ago, but later removed from my channel. But the last month or so in Japan, well, first of all, I was very, very busy, but I was also really starting to feel kind of like that it wasn't fun to do streams anymore. So what I told my viewers on the last stream was that I will try to, use this summer to kind of work on some slightly different concept, something that makes me excited about walking in Japan again. Maybe just spending this summer away from Japan will bring back the excitement of being there. But I also think that I will really try to kind of do something slightly different on my channel when I'm back in Japan. I have a few ideas that I'm kind of trying to flesh out to a proper, interesting concept that I will share with you once everything is kind of nailed down. But I definitely want to keep doing YouTube, but I also need to do it in a way that's sustainable for myself, and that makes me feel excited and that I enjoy it. So, but I'm sure it will go well. I'm sure this break from Japan is good for me, good for my inspiration and creativity. Change of my environment is usually always a good thing. Do I miss Italy? I do miss Italy. Yeah, Italy was lovely. I will definitely try to make it a habit of going there every summer again. What's this? Is this some sort of attempt? It looks like they're trying to write something in katakana, but I have no idea what it's like. Some of the characters doesn't mean anything. Maybe it's not katakana. I don't know. So even these boats are like used as event venues. Like here is like a phone operator having their event space on this boat. That's the big ferry over there. I think that's the one I arrived with. That one goes back and forth between Stockholm and Visby 3 times every day, I think. So there's one arrival now in the morning, and then there's one departure at 2 p.m. around lunchtime, and that's the one I will take to go back home. And then there's also one arrival in the evening. But anyway, I think I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think it won't be another month until my next live stream. I think in Sweden I will kind of try to do live streams a little bit more often. It feels fun. It feels exciting to be here. But anyway, that will be it from today. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you Fungus for the super chat. Thank you. How far from Stockholm? So the ferry ride takes 3.5 hours, but that's not to Stockholm. That's to a place called Nynäshamn, and then from there it's an hour-long train ride to get to Stockholm. You can also fly. There is a small airport here on the island, and there are flights, but they're all like fully booked and super expensive during this week. But otherwise you can fly here, and I don't know how long the flight takes, but it can't be more than like 30 minutes. It's really not that far. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all soon again. Bye bye. Hej då. Auf Wiedersehen und Matane. Tschüss.